Planet Dolan.
From running down a sidewalk while wrapped in duct tape to screaming about how all meat eaters must die, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the dumbest things people have done in public. I'm Melissa, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by NinjaZX20. When he was 11, Nixium and his friends went walking in a park one day when something caught their attention. A random guy who wore a tutu, cat ears, a bra on top of a tank top, and tight shorts was walking around. Nixium took out his phone and recorded the guy while laughing hysterically. The guy saying, "I'm gonna play with myself," over and over as he walked around. Everyone watched as the guy continued to sing and prance around in his weird costume. After the guy walked out of the park, Nixium went home and showed his family the video. His brother laughed so hard that he began to cry and wheeze at the same time. Nixium couldn't help but post the video on his Facebook. Number 9 was submitted by secretmarker. Pringle was only 13 when he was walking around the park with his best friend. While hanging out at the crowded park, a man and woman began to run around naked while covered in mud and chicken feathers. They kept screaming, "Meat eaters must die! Meat eaters must pay!" Although Pringle found the incident so disturbing that it scarred him for life, his best friend thought it was hilarious. To this day, Pringle actually feels sorry for the couple since he believes they were drunk and are now probably very embarrassed at what they did that day. Number 8 was submitted by jimthefoxmagi. Back when he worked at a store, Derek saw his fair share of idiot customers. One day, he came across a customer that topped them all. While he was cleaning up his department, he noticed an agitated customer approaching him. The customer began to complain to him about there being no expiration dates on paper towels. At the same time, Derek had no idea how to react to the idiotic complaint, so he just pointed the customer to the service desk. Now, whenever he looks back at it, Derek can't help but laugh. Number 7 was submitted by lightyagamikira. One day, Doopy and her friends were walking down the street when they saw a guy ahead of them acting weird. They all stopped as they watched the guy, who appeared to be in his 40s, run around and ask people to sniff his elbow. If someone refused, the guy would scream in their face before moving on. When the guy began to approach Doopy and her friends, they ran down the closest alley to avoid confronting him. They stayed there until he left. Number 6 was submitted by PikaRae. Salty Squid used to live near a high school when he was younger, so he always saw teens doing dumb shit. One time, he saw a boy running down a sidewalk with duct tape wrapped around his body, with his arms taped to his sides. He was being chased by what he assumed were the boy's friends, because he was smiling and didn't appear to be in any trouble. Salty Squid didn't have a clue what was going on, though now he's very happy that he no longer lives there. Number 5 was submitted by Tone11405. When he was 9, Dolan went to a water park one day. When he was in a bathroom stall, changing back into his clothes, he began to hear grunting in the stall next to his. Dolan looked down and saw a pair of feet. Then, the grunting got louder, freaking him out. Just then, a giant shit plopped on the floor. Dolan backed towards the other side of the stall. He watched as more large pieces of shit hit the floor. Dolan finished changing and walked out of the stall. The man in the next stall, who looked to be in his 40s, walked out at the same time as Dolan. He said, "Shh," then giggled. Number 4 was submitted by MrAmburi. When he was at the mall, Hellbent and his friends were walking towards the food court when they saw a guy in a Naruto outfit. He was standing on a table, screaming at the top of his lungs, "I'm gonna be the next Hokage!" The guy screamed that for a few more times before jumping off the table and anime running around the food court. The people at the table that the guy was standing on laughed their asses off while recording it on Snapchat. As a joke, Hellbent decided to scream,
"No! I'm gonna be the next Hokage!"
Then, Hellbent and his friends ran towards the guy. The security guards weren't doing anything to stop the fiasco. In fact, they were recording it on Snapchat too. Hellbent and his friends talked to the guy, who said that he got his costume from a store in the mall, and that his friends were paying him $30 to scream and run around. Even Hellbent and his friends earned $5 for what they did. The security guards told them that they weren't banned from the mall. Instead, they were told to come back anytime, but to tell them if they were ever gonna put on a show like that again, so they could make sure their boss wasn't there, and so they could have their phones ready to record. Number 3 was submitted by I Lost the Game 124. Sid was 10 when he took his little brother to the public pool. His brother wanted to go into the kiddie pool, so Sid had to go with him to supervise. When his brother played in the pool, Sid noticed a couple in their 20s also enter the pool. Suddenly, the guy and the girl took their swimsuits off and began to have sex. Everyone couldn't help but watch in shock. Sid told the lifeguard on duty about what was going on, and the couple were kicked out. After that, Sid and his little brother were scarred for life. Number 2 was submitted by Vuesy83. When Tolop was 7, she was in town with her parents and her little brother. While they walked down the sidewalk looking for a place to eat lunch, they began to hear a man shouting. As soon as they turned the corner, they found the source. A man was humping a pole, yelling, "Banana!" Number 1 was submitted by LilyGaming. Mimi and her cousin were little when their parents took them to Disney World one time. They were having a good time at the park, experiencing the attractions and meeting the characters. As they continued to walk around, Mimi's cousin stopped in the middle of the path. He pulled down his pants and started peeing. Even though he was only a small child, Mimi still thought it was a dumb thing to do. Huge thanks for the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the scariest thing you've experienced while home alone? Let us know in the Reddit page linked below, and you might be featured in a future countdown. This video was made possible by our fans over on Patreon. Thanks for your support, guys. Catch you guys next time.